As this precocious crew authors yet another historic Big Blue Nation season. Today, though, this crowd in Columbia, South Carolina, poised and ready to both repeat and rewrite history. Wildcats, Gamecocks, turning up next. Welcome, everyone, to Saturday Showcase, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Today's game, part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Colonial Life Arena sold out for just the 6th time to see one of just 2 unbeaten teams remaining in NCAA Division I basketball. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, courtside with the new People's Choice Mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Dick Vitale. Dick, Kentucky comes in here after their 4th best start in school history. Calipari, the coach, has questions about his team, though, still.
Well, he's always got questions. He's become the Lou Holtz of coaching. I was teasing him before the game. I said, I read in the paper about who you're playing, and I think the Spurs are coming here. I think I'm looking for Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. I mean, he makes everybody the best. But you know what? That's how you win. Get respect from your players for the opponent. And I'll tell you about Kentucky. It's all about defense, defense, defense. 30% teams shoot against them. They give up 50 points a game. They rebound on the glass offensively 45%. Number 1 in all those categories. The most suffocating defense I have seen in my 36 years at ESPN.
Wow, major statement. Calipari, though, has reason to have a little Lou Holtz in them for this one, because this is a place where historically they've struggled.
Hey, struggle. Don't get nervous. Turn your set off. Put the mute button on in Lexington. You don't want to hear this. 3 out of the last 5 trips here, they left with an L. Last year, left with an L. 4 of those starters are back to South Carolina. 2010, 19-0. John Calipari's first loss as a Kentucky coach right here. Got beat by South Carolina. Watch out. Watch out.
Big Blue Nation not trying to hear all that, Dick. Let's take a look at our anatomy of an upset. Part of our Sonic showdown.
First of all, you got to make sure they only get 1 shot. They really offensively rebound so well. You got to make sure they're not efficient offensively, not making shots. South Carolina to win, they better make some threes, and they better feed off the emotion of this crowd. I know one thing. Their starters will not be intimidated. 4 of them started last year in this game when they beat Kentucky.
Let's go courtside to Kaylee Hartung. Kaylee?
Well, Mark, the Gamecocks take on Frank's personality. They're balling. That was John Calipari's way of complimenting his opponent today. Now with a 1-4 start in SEC play, Frank Martin might disagree with that sentiment. The energy and the toughness that fueled an upset of Iowa State has relinquished as conference play has started, but senior guard Tyrone Johnson told me there's been a renewed sense of urgency this week. He addressed the team saying, no more pointing fingers, no more excuses. We'll see how that translates on the court today.
All right, Kaylee, to the action. South Carolina with possession. Dwayne Notice off the screen. Here's Carrera. Carrera getting the start for Hatkevicius.
Hatkevicius went to the bench in that last game. Didn't make shots against Tennessee. Johnson was 2 for 13 shooting the 3. He's going to have to make some here.
Thornwell hits the floater for the game's first bucket.
He's a good athlete, double-figure scorer, had a good, strong freshman year. Their plan is basically to shoot the ball quickly if it's there. If not, we're going to use some of that shot clock. That is the plan of South Carolina.
Paulie Stein out front, inside now to Towns. Nice drop step, and he's fouled inside by Demetrius Henry as we take a look at the starting lineups. For Kentucky, we mentioned a change in the starting 5 as Trey Lyles gets the start today for Dominique Hawkins, who'd started the last game against Vandy a couple of nights ago. And for South Carolina, Hatkevicius goes to the bench. Michael Carrera, the junior, gets the start for him.
Carrera gives him some energy, Mark. But right now, when you look at Kentucky inside, if they drop the ball inside of the big guys, they got great size. You got to hope they have a bad day shooting, because they're capable of doing that. They've had games where they've really been difficult on the offensive end.
Towns goes 0 for 2. Henry with the rebound. And on the push, it's Tyrone Johnson, the Villanova transfer.
He's a key player for them. They need him to make some shots from the perimeter. If the shot's not available right away, they're going to take some time off the clock to try and shorten the game a little bit.
Frank Martinjic talked about playing inside out. How important is it for them to do that?
Well, that's good philosophy, but you got to make shots if you come back outside to the perimeter. They didn't make them in that Tennessee game.
Dwayne Notice with the 15-foot jumper. Rebounded by Cauley Stein. And here comes Andrew Harrison.
He gets more criticism than any kid in the country. I'm telling you, every time something doesn't go well for Kentucky, blame Andrew, blame Andrew. It's really sad in a way. He's a good college player.
Yeah. Gets into the paint, missing the bank shot, rebounded by Henry, and Henry throws away the outlet pass.
Sloppy right there.
Here's Aaron Harrison, who's been coming alive from downtown. Inside, Trey Lyles with the bucket.
And there's their offensive rebound and power. That's their strength offensively.
Notice got eaten up and swallowed inside.
Block shot. Kentucky leads the nation in block shots. 8.1 a game.
Andrew Harrison. And he gets blocked by Thornwell.
Tell you one thing, very physical team, South Carolina. They're going to have some good physicality. They had a good win over Iowa State.
And another Kentucky steal, Dick. Here comes Harrison. Makes the left-handed layup this time, and Andrew Harrison on the board with his first bucket.
Poor job offensively by South Carolina. They got to have better execution. Can't allow Kentucky taking a turnover and go the other way for layups.
Calipari warned his team, Dick, that this is going to be a quote-unquote street fight, a very physical type game.
Yeah, and he said we need that. We need to get bounced around a little bit physically. Well, they'll get that today.
Carrera on the wing.
You know, you can talk all that you want, but it comes down to still making shots.
10 on the shot clock. Jackson working against Harrison. A tough floater, no good. Notice with the loose ball rebound inside. And he'll go to the free throw line for a pair.
Also making free throws really big when you're trying to spring that upset. There's the block shot.
And good Kentucky defense to get the fast break going.
Yeah, the steal, the turnover, the transition game. Nice left-hand layup there by Harrison.
Harrison, improved defender this year as Dwayne Notice goes to the free throw line. A 78% foul shooter, at 5 points and 3 assists against Tennessee in that loss several nights ago. A couple of subs coming into the ball game. Hakevicius and Kaichinas. As Pereira sits down along with Demetrius Henry.
I hope you rehearsed those names, man, all day, looking in front of your mirror.
I've been in the lab working on it, Dick. And now a little full court pressure by South Carolina.
They're going to play aggressive attack, not be intimidated.
Cauley Stein with the alley-oop, and the punch home by Towns.
Towns with the slam jam, but the great alley-oop pass.
And Johnson and one.
Perfect play by Johnson. Coming back after the dunk, gets the score, attacking. Frank Martin said we're going to try to score quickly. That's an example. The alley-oop, man, that's a part of their offensive ability because of that size, the athleticism. As the drive. Great drive by Johnson right there. Sealed off the defense well. Freddie Frischella did a great job on our ESPN.com about Lyles. Doing analysis on Lyles. Very athletic, great.
Don Calipari just picked up a warning from the bench. Remember, last year he got thrown out of this game. They ran him.
Yep.
Tied at 6, and importantly now, that's 2 fouls on Willie Cauley-Stein. Do you leave him in, or Calipari maybe going to take him out here?
I think he'll take him out right now. He's going to the bench. Actually, Franny did that analysis, was done on Towns, and he did a great job talking about his wingspan, his athleticism. According to Chad Ford, he'll be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft.
As the white platoon will come into the ball game now for Kentucky.
Don't get me started with the platoon system, because I got started with him already. He put a picture up. He said, let's take a picture. 2 fired coaches. I said, yeah, we are. He said, we haven't done too badly.
Calipari said after he got fired, he was the highest paid amateur golfer in the country. Marcus Lee out top. Trey Lyles with the pull-up.
Lee was really big for them against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt really hung around, played really effectively, made some threes. fact, Kentucky went 1 for 10 starting the second half, and Lee then stopped that by making 3 consecutive plays and 3 scores.
9 McDonald's All-Americans as part of this Kentucky roster.
Most coaches wish they had one. I was praying and hoping I would get 1 Wendy's. Are you kidding me? 9 McDonald's All-Americans?
And 3 more subs getting ready to check into the ball game for the Wildcats. There's Kaitchenis out top, weak side now to Notice.
They've had some good moments, South Carolina, this year. They went through a stretch where they won about 7 in a row. They beat Oklahoma State, beat Iowa State.
Iowa State ranked number 9. That was a quality win off the miss. Here come Kentucky down by 1. Harrison for 3. And rebounded by South Carolina Stroman. Thornwell took the hit.
Really attacking in transition, playing with a lot of emotion. The one thing Kentucky's doing a better job of recently is making threes.
Time out on the floor. Back after this. There's a little bit of history working today for South Carolina. Kentucky back in 2010, undefeated 19-0. But Devin Downey got loose on them. But that was after DeMarcus Cousins went to work for the Wildcats. Downey hitting shot after shot on his way to 30 points in a 68-62 upset over then number 1 Kentucky. Then 2014, just last year in January, Kentucky shooting just 27%. Coach Calipari, as we mentioned earlier, was ejected. They ran him from the game, and South Carolina won it 72-67. They stormed the court afterwards, having to pay a $25,000 fine. I don't think they minded, Dick Vitale.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I remember reading something. I think Jerry Tipton in Lexington wrote about Aaron Harrison at that game. After the press conference, they asked him, they said, hey, coach got ejected. He said, heck, I would have ejected him the way he was acting. He said, I was frustrated. He said, but I'll tell you this, we're going to write a great story. And wasn't it amazing how the kid had the intuition that they were going to go on a run, and he made 3 dramatic shots against Michigan, Wichita State, and Wisconsin to get them to the final game against final game of Connecticut.
Those Harrison twins have been so scrutinized and criticized, but really great kids as Tyler Ulis now takes the reins of the offense at point guard.
He's Mr. Popularity. A lot of people in Lexington feel he should get more playing time at that point guard slot. He's a guy that creates a lot of excitement with the ball, can make shots, quick. Everybody likes the little guy.
Yeah.
Everyone likes
the backup quarterback too, right?
Exactly.
A foul out top on the Gamecocks. Looks like it's going to go against Carrera.
He's a high-energy guy, Carrera. There's a lot of enthusiasm, energy. But one thing that's a key right now, South Carolina's 4 for 4 in the free throw line. And you got to do that if you're playing against a team that has a lot more talent than you.
South Carolina's lost 4 out of their last 5 games after a great non-conference schedule in those wins, including the one we mentioned against Iowa State.
They're rotating now in the zone, 2-3 zone.
Ulis penetrates, kicks it out to Booker. He's now made 21 out of his last 29 three-point attempts in the last 9 games. That is incredibly accurate.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal shooter. Dad was a big star at Missouri. Ulis and Booker play really well together. I mean, let's face reality. They would start 99% of the schools in America.
Thornwell took it in and lost the handle. It'll stay South Carolina basketball.
Kentucky, the last 3 games, were 20 for 41 shooting the threes. Booker just great style. He didn't get many opportunities against Vanderbilt. He only had 1 opportunity. He was 20 for 27 coming into that game. There he is, great look, squares his body exceptionally well for you young kids. Great follow through, tucks the elbow in.
And great DNA, his dad Melvin, one of the all-time greats at Missouri. Here's Henry, 10 on the shot clock for Thornwell now. A little bit of a mismatch working against Marcus Lee. Or maybe it's not a mismatch after all. 3-on-1, Harrison.
Shot blocking ability, turn it to the layup. They lead the nation in block shots.
Boy, great recovery, Dick, defensively by Marcus Lee.
They are so good defensively and transitioning in every part of their game.
Kaitchenis with the miss.
Your 1 shot, very tough to get second shots against Kentucky. Rebound and power play, you got to make shots, man. You got to make them count when you get a good look.
Ulis on the drive. Gets double team, kicks it out to Lee. Dakari Johnson working on the low block. And Henry with the block on the play.
Nice play by Henry defensively, showing his athleticism, rotating over. Good timing on a block shot. Let's take a look right here. Marcus Lee from behind, excellent timing, and that converted. And there's the block on the other side by Henry.
Booker with a tough contested two. Johnson there for the rebound and the stick back.
And there's the offensive rebound again. I mean, they just beat you like you cannot believe with the offensive rebound. The missed shot. The missed shot has become a real weapon for them.
Yeah. So much size on that front line. Only the Portland Trailblazers out of all NBA teams have a bigger front starting five. Kaichina swings it around to Stroman. Inside, Demetrius Henry goes up strong, and he draws the foul on the play, either Harrison or Lee, the culprit.
Tell you one thing, practices must be unbelievable at Kentucky. I think sometimes when you think about it, there's only one team that can beat them, and that is Kentucky, having a bad game.
Yeah, you go back to last year, and as Henry stepped to the free throw line, a couple of the players, Aaron Harrison included, said, you know what, I think Coach kind of mellowed a little bit after that loss, and he changed his disposition a little bit, although Coach Cal might disagree with them. Whatever it was, Dick, it led to a fantastic run down the stretch.
Well, James Young said he chilled a little bit at the end of the year, and John Calipari had a great answer. He said, no. He said, James Young unchilled. Yeah. He unchilled. And I'll tell you, he's an intense competitor. You're not going to change that personality. That's what he is, and that's why he wins. He gets the most out of people. He's not about what he did yesterday. He's about today.
Henry misses the second foul shot. Might be bothered a little bit by that mask that he's wearing. Broke his nose in practice 3 days ago. A little friendly fire. Here's Ulis. Calls out the set.
From out of Ohio.
Looking inside for Johnson. Kicks it back out and sets the screen. 10 on the shot clock. Dakari Johnson. Nice look to Marcus Lee, who draws the foul. Great interior passing.
Yeah, good interior passing. They're so big on that front line, and they're so athletic. They're not just big, slow. They're mobile, and they really have some good athleticism. Very physical, good athletes.
Marcus Lee going to go to the foul line. Marcus Lee had 7 points and 6 rebounds in their most recent game against Vandy.
Yeah, he did a great job in that game. Kentucky on the free throw line. The last 3 games, you saw the numbers there.
Talk about a guy who's very ambitious. Says that one day when he's finished playing basketball, he wants to run Apple.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I like that. I like that. Not a bad deal out there.
He's shooting for the moon, Dick.
Chase your dreams, man. All you young people, chase your dreams and then have a commitment to try to make that dream a reality.
I peeked at some of the pages of your new book, had a chance to be inspired by you saying exactly that in it. Lee with his 7th different cat to score. Here's Stroman up court. Ulis all over him defensively. Carrera had a great look and passed it up. Johnson out top. South Carolina going deep into the shot clock here, down to 10. 7 on the shot clock. They got to get busy here. Stroman throws up a tough shot and draws the foul on Ulis.
Lucky he got the foul call right there. I mean, it's such intimidation the way they block shots, Kentucky.
Well, folks, Big Monday presented by Verizon. This week has an ACC Big 12 double dip for you at 7. Syracuse taking on number 15 North Carolina. Then at 9, number 17 Texas taking on Iowa State.
Texas really playing really well now defensively. Last few games really effective. Hey, you talk about block shots. They had 146 coming into this game, Mark. The record in the NCAA is 344. Held by the Kentucky team in 2012, led by a supreme shot blocker, Mr. Davis.
Anthony Davis.
AD is unbelievable, and he's only 21 years old.
One of a couple of Kentucky players named to the starting lineup, voted on by fans to be a starter in the upcoming NBA All-Star game. Anthony Davis in the Western Conference, and in the Eastern Conference, John Wall, who leads the NBA in assists right now.
I'll tell you one thing, John Calipari could put together one heck of an NBA team of players that he has coached that are now playing in the NBA.
Carolina, Dick, with a little half-court pressure
trap,
here.
Yep. Want to post somebody up to the foul line and go opposite.
They swing it around to Harrison for 3. And that's what he does. Aaron Harrison shooting 34% from downtown, picking it up of late.
I'll tell you one thing, when Harrison and Booker are making threes, you got no shot. You got no shot to beat them with their defense. You got no shot. You got to hope they're missing shots, and you got to make some threes, which South Carolina has not done early in this game.
Good defense by Harrison on Stroman. Here's Johnson.
They got to get some screens. Again, Johnson's capable. Even though he had a bad game, he's capable.
Good help by Takari Johnson. 5 on the shot clock. Dwayne Notice out top. Booker, nice contest. And a 4-shot Carrera with the offensive rebound.
Nice play by Carrera. Very rarely you're going to get that opportunity on a missed shot.
Ulis now. South Carolina trying to muck this game up a little.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Kentucky came to play them. It's not, if South Carolina's going to win this game, it's going to be because they had outplayed them, because Kentucky has come to play here today.
They've learned that an SEC conference play is not as easy as otherwise might seem. A couple of overtime contests already. Ulis from downtown. Halfway down and out. Carrera with the board.
Nice job by Carrera on the offense, on the defensive boards.
Swinging around to Mackey, Justin Mackey, whose dad played here, one of the all-time greats.
Phenomenal player. Played for Eddie Fogler.
Nice body by Carrera. Couldn't finish, though. And back comes Ulis. Kentucky leading by 4. Harrison, same spot, different result.
Give him one shot. That's a key. You got to give him one shot. Got to come back and make some shots out here.
Good heads-up play by Trey Lyles. And a foul on Carrera.
Carrera gets called for the foul, but he got fouled there on the hard time.
Can't go to sleep on Kentucky defensively or offensively. Harrison, straight butter on the 3. Is the SEC on ESPN, and the Journey to the Tourney presented by Sonic continues in South Bend on Wednesday when number 5 Duke takes on number 8 Notre Dame. There it is. A look at some of the cogent numbers. Big Monday presented by Verizon, part of Journey to the Tourney. And Dick, a lot of the talk right now as we look at that Duke Notre Dame game coming up. Coach K looking for win number 1,000 in his career. How good is he? How do you put into words and characterize just what he means?
I'll make it very simple. I think right now, if you take the whole coaching profession of all sports, I have him number 1. Number 2, I look out there, Popovich. Popovich has been unbelievable. Number 3, I would probably go right now when I think about the 3rd best. You think about Belichick. Even though about the football, the football is deflating him. I'm tired of that, whining or crying. But anyway, number 4, I think about Gino Auriemma.
Okay.
Gino Auriemma, what he has done, and I would revive Mr. Saban. And eventually, you might get Urban Meyer on that list, you might get John Calipari. They're going to win more national titles. Hey, the reason I have Coach K 1, not only what he's done as a college coach, what he's done internationally, what he's done on that level. They say ticket prices are going crazy for New York City with St. John's and Steve Lavin. Could be a trivia question. Who did Coach K get his 1,000th against? By the way, Dan Schumann and I can't wait for Wednesday. That'll be a heck of a battle up there in South Bend for the Notre Dame Duke game.
Wouldn't be such a bad thing to be the guy that Coach K gets the number 1,000 against.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, make it a good trivia answer.
Doesn't matter.
Lyles knocks down the first foul shot.
I'll tell you one thing, that's not going to be easy there because D'Angelo Harrison, St. John's, is very athletic, and they're going to play with a little chip on their shoulder. New York City be going wild.
Lyles goes 1 for 2. Kitchenis with the rebound. South Carolina down by 5 as we approach the midway point of the first half.
Kentucky really matching up on the perimeter. There haven't been any really good looks by South Carolina for a 3. The 3 ball is really big when you're trying to spring an upset.
Henry on the baseline. 1 and done at the offensive end for the Gamecocks. Harrison on the drive. Not sure whether that was a pass or a shot. Looked like he was looking for Towns. That's the first turnover of the game by Kentucky.
He was caught up in the air.
Johnson tipped up and in. Looked like Kitchenis got a hand on it.
Nice little offensive tip right there. Very aggressive on the glass. Frank Martin brings that passion to coaching. He did one heck of a job at Kansas State to go over for hugs.
They averaged 23 wins a season for the Wildcats out of Kansas State before coming here. Notice thought about it. They swing it around to Thornwell. Notice off the screen, the step back. And a nice offensive rebound by Mendigas Kitchenis. Notice the sophomore out of Toronto.
Okay, good ball movement. Trying to show some patience, use some of that clock. Shorten the game a little bit when you got out talented.
Thornwell gets the switch on Lyles and drives it on him. Nice look.
Great with the flush. Great penetration by Thornwell. Showing that athleticism. Good 6'5". Timeout right there. John Calipari not happy. Gonna watch a little great two-man play here. Great penetration. Thornwell, very athletic, dumps it off to Henry, and Henry with the flush and a jam. Good two-man execution right there by South Carolina.
South Carolina, Dick, on a 6-1 run as Calipari tries to tinker whatever adjustments they might make on defense.
Saw Bobby Cremens in the house. He played here 69, 70. Had a great team, a 14-0 in conference play under the great Frank McGuire, and they got beat in double overtime by NC State, and he disappeared. I couldn't find Cremens for days. He told me, he said, I went to the mountains. I was so depressed, because remember in those days, you had to win the tournament, ACC, to get in the NCAA.
Alex English, another Gamecock great in the stands watching today, and Booker silences the fans. Shows you that he's got his driver's license, too. He can put it on the deck a little bit. 3-point lead.
I love guys that can make shots. I mean, there's no substitute for guys that can make shots. And he can make them, Booker.
One of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Cross court now to Johnson.
Johnson played at Villanova.
Notice off the screen. Nice feed. Hakevich is missing everything. Didn't hit the rim. No reset on the shot clock. Thornwell missing. They got a couple tries at it. And back comes Kentucky in transition.
Nice
great feed. Booker with the slam.
Great movement without the ball. Booker's, and then you steal. Sloppy play.
I tell you, Kentucky's got their effort really working today.
Yeah, they're really playing. They're playing a little chip on their shoulder. They remember leaving here.
5-point lead. Time on the floor, and when we come back, we'll have a chat with one of the top coaches in the SEC, the old ball coach. Here's Harrison on the break, lacerating that South Carolina defense. Kaylee Harton looked like he almost beat a two-deep zone if he were a football quarterback. Speaking of which.
Well, Mark, Coach Spurrier here today to celebrate that Independence Bowl win in front of this raucous crowd. Coach, for a season that otherwise saw some disappointment, how do you describe the energy that's been around your program in the offseason?
Yeah, Kaylee, I tell you what, winning the bowl game to all teams now is the game you talk about till you play again. So it lasts 7 or 8 months until we play in September. So it's a good win for us, and to have a winning season, that sure beats a losing season.
Pharaoh Cooper, your offensive MVP of that bowl game. How do you describe what his role will be as an offensive playmaker next year?
He's one of the best all-around players in the country. He can run, he can throw, he catches punts, he can do it all. So he'll still be our Wildcat quarterback and play wide receiver. But we got to find a real quarterback most of the time. We got some good recruits coming in also. So we hope to be a different team next year.
What can you tell us about the competition for your quarterback spot?
Well, we got 3 guys on campus that'll fight it out in the spring. And then, like I said, we got a freshman coming in. But hopefully out of spring, we'll have, a player that we have confidence in can go play.
About a week and a half until signing day. How do you feel about the class you'll have coming in?
Well, we think we have a chance for one of the best recruiting classes we've ever had. Of course, February the 4th when you know it is or isn't. And then 4 years later, you'll know how you did. But we do have a lot of good players, and we return some good players also. So hopefully we can do a little bit better next year.
We'll have fun celebrating that bowl win with this raucous crowd, Coach.
Yeah, this is some crowd here. The Gamecocks, they love their sports teams. Our women's basketball, #1 in the country. So Kentucky, they may have the men, but we got the women.
Thanks, Coach.
Tell you one thing.
The old ball coach, huh?
They were recruiting like you could not believe. This is the women's. I'm going to tell you this. Dawn Staley's club, #1 in America. And I'm making an ultimate request to all the Gamecock fans. Listen to me. Those young ladies have been brilliant. They have been super. Monday night, they play at home here against Texas A&M. Sell this place out. This is the first sellout here tonight, this afternoon rather, in the last 4 years. They deserve a sellout. Dawn Staley and her kid, she's a Hall of Famer, and what a job she has done as the architect of this program.
Yeah, great things happening here in Columbia, South Carolina, with both the women's and the men's basketball programs. Harrison at the free throw line knocks down the second. Kentucky leading by 6.
You know, Kelly, with that good interview with Steve Spurrier about football, when I checked in the hotel yesterday, I took a picture with the whole football staff was there. Recruits were all over.
Yeah.
Oh, they were working, man. They were working.
Big weekend for them. Trying to get some of those commitments.
And they weren't trying to recruit me, I can tell you that. They had some guys in the hallways. I couldn't believe the size of them.
You're the media coordinator, Dick. Harrison with the rebound off the Henry miss. And back come Kentucky.
That's a bad sign for South Carolina. Not making shots, getting open looks there. You got to convert.
South Carolina has not made or attempted a three-pointer yet. Good defense by Thornwell on Harrison.
That's because Kentucky has really matched up on the perimeter and playing exceptional defense here today. I mean, 25% they're shooting about right now, South Carolina.
There's Ewis. 8 on the shot clock for Tyler Ewis. Tough pull-up blocked. And back comes South Carolina looking for a little early offense. Thornwell with a step through. Henry with the board. Knocked out of bounds. South Carolina ball.
Not getting any really good looks. I mean, the looks really are tough. Everything's challenged.
Even in transition, Dick,
Absolutely.
when they try and get an easy bucket.
Challenged.
Towns coming back into the ball game.
I think
Kentucky.
about the great defensive teams I've seen over the years. Georgetown, certainly with the Patrick Ewing team, was tremendous. Think about UNLV when Stacey Orton was, oh, you got to go right up.
Which he does. Kevich. And Kevichus with the bucket, his first.
Kevichus, he hesitated right there. He hesitated, and he finally got away with it. It was wide open.
4-point lead for the Wildcats. Lee couldn't find the handle. Steps out of bounds.
Yeah, one thing, Frank Martin's got his kids playing with a lot of energy, a lot of passion. They are playing hard.
Frank Martin with those penetrating looks certainly gets his players' attention. And he said that after that big win against Iowa State, Dick, they came back and they kind of lost their edge a little bit. But he says in the last couple of days they've gotten back to being themselves a little bit in practice.
Well, at the end of the Tennessee game, they were down double digits late and made a big run. And then Mackey took a three that could have tied the game. I swear, I watched it. It went in. I thought that sucker was in, and it came out. The Vols, by the way, have done a good job in the league play.
Maybe the surprise team so far, out of bounds. And it'll be South Carolina basketball. South Carolina coming in at 1-4 in conference play, 10-7 overall.
Florida's been a major disappointment in conference play so far. Billy Donovan's got to be totally frustrated because that is not a Billy Donovan basketball team the way they're playing.
Great move off the inbound by Stroman.
Nice little execution. Getting the open look. They got to lock it up now. Playing a little multiple defenses. Frank Martin got the crowd going crazy. He's a cheerleader on the sideline.
Harrison on the wing. All the way to the bucket. Missed the punch. Out of bounds, South Carolina ball.
Lost control of the ball on that drive for the goal. John Calipari said we're going to be in a dogfight today. They're going to come, they're going to scrap, they're going to fight, they're going to claw.
Well, Calipari's got to be encouraged by the fact that at least he went strong with it, because he warned his players this is going to be a street fight, a physical game.
It's amazing that they haven't been able to take a three thus far, South Carolina. So now they lock him up right in their face. Look at Booker, right up on him, Booker.
Thornwell.
That's a good screen. He doesn't use the screen, goes opposite it.
They swing it back weak side. Thornwell, there's the first three, and it's good. And South Carolina takes the lead.
There was a buzz, man. A buzz last night when I went to dinner. The Vino's, a great Italian restaurant. I'm going to tell you, there was a buzz there. All I kept hearing was, we're going to upset them. We're going to upset them. So right now, they're a little bit, if it ended now, they'd have their dream.
And Booker off the mark. One of his rare misses from downtown. Back comes Stroman.
You wear that Kentucky uniform, you get everybody's best hit. People play at such a level against you. Duke faces that. North Carolina, Louisville. Teams like that are the elite teams. They get everybody's best hit.
Atkevicius, baseline to Henry. Good patience by South Carolina. They turn it over. Ulis.
Nice fake.
Great ball fake, and he converts.
Terrific ball fake right there.
He really came into prominence after coming up big in that game against Louisville. That win against Louisville when he had 14 points.
Second half, he was brilliant that game against Rick Pitino's kids.
1 point Kentucky lead. Just the 6th sellout crowd ever here. Watching this tight game, and they turn it over.
2 turnovers in a row. 2 turnovers in a row.
And Booker fouled by Tyrone Johnson. He'll go to the free throw line.
You don't get a shot. They get 2, and they go to the free throw line.
No surprise seeing a little blood. It's physical out there when we come back. All right, Kentucky with a 1-point lead right here. South Carolina hanging tough. A busy day in the SEC. Texas A&M taking on Tennessee. Kentucky undefeated, the only team in the conference 5-0.
Well, you know, when you look at that right there, Rob Morris wrote a column here in a local paper about the SEC, about how it's better this year than people anticipated. And I agree with that from top to bottom. However, they're all beating each other. They're all going to beat each other. Right now, you look on their verge. Arkansas looks like an NCAA Burt team. Certainly LSU. You got Georgia and Tennessee still got to do some work. But they've all beat upon each other, and that could hurt.
You're talking about come tournament time and Selection Sunday?
Yep.
Booker, meanwhile, going to the foul line, an 81% free throw shooter.
In the last 2 possessions, I want to harp on it, but Kentucky did a great job. They got a deuce on a steal without South Carolina getting a shot, and then they get another turnover, and he gets Booker on a free throw line, who's an 80%, as you said, 81% free throw shooter. So you got 4 points without getting a shot. That's a no-no. You can't do that if you're trying to spring that major upset.
3:06 to go in the first half. I think that, Dick, if you asked Frank Martin if he'd take this score at this part of the game, he'd take it, though, right?
Well, probably, but I think he'd like to take back those last 2 possessions. Okay. I know coaches, man. You don't want to be on that losing side. You don't want no moral victory. You don't want no moral victory.
Atkevicius gives it to Henry. Henry played his high school basketball in the state of Florida, Faith Baptist. Before that, Northeastern in Fort Lauderdale. A good South Florida connection for Frank Martin and his coaching staff. Booker on the lead. And Booker now with double figures. He has 11, the leading scorer.
Nobody rotated back. Defensive transition wasn't there. Had a good opportunity. They had a wide open 15-foot shot and did not make it. Booker's been sensational off the bench.
I tell you, they were working on him during the timeout, Dick. He got cut, sporting a Band-Aid on his face right now.
Not bothering them at all offensively.
No.
They score so quickly. They got the ball right out. There's the transition. He kicks it up. Ulis to his buddy. What a great pass by Ulis. Led him perfectly. Perfectly. Nice catch, a nice jam.
Thornwell. Guarded by Lyles. There's Johnson looking inside for Henry off the screen. It's Thornwell. Good help by Dakari Johnson. Atkevicius missing from outside. And there's a foul underneath. It looks like it's going to go against South Carolina. And Demetrius Henry, who has his palms pointing skyward.
You know, with 3 minutes to go, they were up 1. Here's a matter of another minute. They're already down 5, and it looks like it could even go higher right now on the free throw line. You can't let this get away from you. You want to go in that locker room with a little momentum.
South Carolina actually had a 7-game winning streak at one point this year after non-conference play, and then went into this mini tailspin. 1-4 in their last 5 games once conference play started. Meanwhile, it's Harrison at the foul line for the Wildcats. Atkevicius with the rebound.
These 2 minutes are big to South Carolina. They're really big. You can't allow Kentucky to get a little spurt here.
Johnson. And that's going to be a foul against Harrison. Andrew Harrison. That's his first personal. Let's check in courtside with Caleb.
Well, Mark, Coach Cal says you've got to battle or you're not going to play in this game. He reminded his team in the last timeout, South Carolina is one of the most physical teams they'll play all season, and he knows that they've prepared for that. It's the 7 offensive rebounds that South Carolina has that have led to 10 second chance points that really has Cal frustrated right now.
I tell you, Kelly, that's certainly a great point right there. They've done a good job on the boards when you talk about South Carolina, but they got to make shots. They have not shot the ball well.
Down by 5. Thornwell with the step through. And that's going to be a turnover against the Gamecocks. Can't
keep coming up with those empty possessions. They're letting a nice little performance get away from them at the end of this half, and he's got to be really frustrated.
Frank Martin, you know, knowing Frank for a while now as a resident of South Florida, Miami myself, he has mellowed a little bit, although most people might not know it.
He started there as a high school coach.
Miami High School, great basketball lineage there. Anthony Grant, the head coach of Alabama, and Shaky Rodriguez, high school legend, former head coach at FIU. Here's Ulis.
Ulis and Booker have done a really good job off the bench. Look at that pass.
Lyles with the finish.
What a great finish here by Kentucky. They are really doing a superb job defensively and offensively, and it's really created by Ulis right there. Great passing ability, penetration.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Wildcats.
Look at little Tyler Ulis right there. Brings the defense to him, and there's Lyles with the flush and finish. Originally committed to Indiana, changed his mind. Ulis, man, he can handle the rock. That Calipari's had his share of great point guards. I mean, that's not a bad group right there, are they? Wall and Rose, are you kidding? And Evans and Wagner right down the line. Unbelievable guys he's had.
Hey, speaking of point guards, Wade, Rose on the screen there. Durant, James. For fans of greatness, this is your game. NBA Countdown tips at 12:30. Then it's a great doubleheader on ABC. Thunder's Cavs, preceded by the Heat and the Bulls at 1 o'clock. Derrick Rose and the Bulls with great back-to-back wins against the Spurs and then the Mavericks last night. Derrick Rose really starting to round back into form, and another guy that played under John Calipari, albeit at Memphis at the time. Let's see what South Carolina does out of this timeout, Dick.
Chicago's had picked it up a lot, but they got to really get better shots. And that's really easier said than done, because look at that defensive stance. Great stance inside.
Wild shot by Kaichenis.
Had no chance to go in that shot. No chance. John Calipari's got to be very pleased with that defensive effort. A superb last 3 minutes here by Kentucky.
That's the first foul against Kaichenis.
Let me tell you this, there's no substitute for kids that can make shots. I want guys that can make shots. I got a kid where we live in Sarasota, Ryan McMahon. He had 37 last night. He goes like for 8 for 10 against people, making threes. I mean, there's no substitute for that.
Skill.
Oh, right? Man, you got to make shots. You want to win.
Kentucky, speaking of making shots, Dick, now just 5 for 12 from the free throw line.
And that's helping to keep South Carolina alive. But the last 3 minutes, it's been all Kentucky here. When they had that 1-point lead, Thornwell made the big three. Place was electric, going bananas. Then all of a sudden, bam.
They can never overstate the importance of closing out the half. Well, that was a lane violation against South Carolina. And Johnson will get back to the free throw line.
Look at this right here. Unbelievable. South Carolina's inside strength, rebound margin, second, 5th offensive rebound. They've outscored 16 of their 17 opponents in the lane.
Right, this is Kentucky. This is a different kind of animal, though, as Johnson knocks down this one.
Here it is. You get a line violation now. You put him back in the line and give him another chance for another 2. You could simply say Uncle Mo is on the side of the Cats.
Takari Johnson at the free throw line from Montverde Academy in Florida. Before that, a teammate of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
They got a kid there, Ben Simmons, right now, who's the #1 player, according to many. Paul Biancardi, who's in the house, the best player in the country. He's going to LSU, along with Antonio Blakeney.
Off the screen here, Stroman. 34 seconds to go in the first half. Kentucky has the lead up to 8. Tough shot by Johnson, a little bit strong, rebounded by the Wildcats, and they're going to run it down now with 18 seconds to go.
Willie Cauley-Stein, very quiet in that first half, too. 7 minutes he only played.
Ulis off the Lyles screen. The floater draws the foul. And with 6.2 to go, he'll get 2.
Ulis has been a difference maker here. Talk all you want about size. Ulis has been a difference maker here.
It's interesting, as Cauley-Stein, just 7 minutes of play in the first half because of those 2 fouls, you would guess. As Tyler Ulis goes to the free throw line, he's been best buddies with his Kentucky teammate Booker since elementary school. Those two go way back.
From out of Ohio. Hey, there's a kid in Ohio. How's this for back-to-back games? High school kid named Kennard. He goes for 11 consecutive threes in a game. Comes back the next game. Oh, by the way, in that game, he scored a mere like 55. And then he came back the next game. He went to the free throw line. I've never seen this before. Free throw line 40 times. He made 34 for 40.
He was getting a good whistle, Dick.
Yeah, well, he scored 45 in that one. Oh, by the way, he will be a Dookie. Luke Kennard. Remember that name?
Yeah, Coach K getting another one.
I got that from Howard Garfinkel, called me a five-star guru. He said, Dick, you got to talk about this kid. He's unbelievable.
10-point ball game, 3 seconds to go. Johnson misses everything. Stroman couldn't get the tip. And what looked like a great first half for the Gamecocks until the final 3 minutes of it ends up in a Kentucky 10-point lead as Kentucky goes on a, well, they're 14-0 this year when leading at half and end the half on an 11-0 run. Kaylee?
Coach, what do you make of the way your team's responded to South Carolina's physicality?
We're doing fine, but we got a couple guys. The game's too physical. Can't play in it. And we're just figuring out who can play in this physical game. I thought Trey went back in the second time and competed, but we got to have everybody knowing going to be bumps and grinds. You got to play through them.
Given the defensive pressure South Carolina's brought, how do you want to see your offense adjust to that?
Well, one of the things I'd like to do is just spread it out and beat them on the dribble. And we're doing that, but we're throwing direct passes instead of lobs, which I don't know why we're doing it, but we're fine. Kids are playing well.
Thanks, Coach.
Kentucky leading by 10 at the break. A lot of pressure on the Wildcats, but Jonathan Coachman, pressure makes diamonds and pressure busts pipes. No need for a plumber here. Time for the Mazda halftime report. Today's game is part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Just the 6th sellout ever here at Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. Mark Jones back with the People's Choice Mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Dick Vitale. Dick, the Gamecocks led it with 4.5 minutes to go in the first half, and then Kentucky went on an 11-0 sprint. How did they recover?
Well, you know, they got to come out, start right now, make a couple of shots. Can't win, man. You got to make shots. It's a simplicity. Don't have to go to Harvard to figure that out. And they shot 26%. They had that 1-point lead, and then all of a sudden, I thought they did a terrific job defensively, Kentucky, and they executed offensively. They made them pay after those turnovers.
Offensively, those freshman guards, Ulis and Booker, did a fantastic job, too.
They were dynamite. I'll tell you one thing. We look at Booker, we know he can shoot the three, so effective, but he was outstanding in transition areas, cutting without the ball, and found him wide open. And what a pass right there. Great catch by Booker, but what a look by Ulis to make that happen. Tyler Ulis, gotta love this little guy. I mean, he knows how to swing the ball to open shooters. He knows how to penetrate, change the direction, good front change, finds the open man, draws the deep to him, and it converts. Yes, that dynamite duo is the reason they are up 10.
We'll see how South Carolina comes out here in the first 5 or so minutes of the second half.
I've said
gotta keep contact.
I've said over the years, Mark, vital it is those first 5 minutes, especially when you're here and you're the underdog like South Carolina. You got to make something happen here to get back a little momentum, because momentum is all on Kentucky's side now.
Ulis getting to start in the second half along with Booker and Aaron Harrison in the backcourt. Andrew Harrison on the bench right now.
Johnson's got to make some things happen. He's been a solid player all year for them. He really didn't have a good game against Tennessee, and it hurt them.
Carrera got blocked inside. A whistle, and that's going to be a block or a charge. Looks like we got a charge as Marcus Lee stood in there and took the hit as we check in with Kaylee Hartung.
Well, Mark, Frank Martin saw a team he recognized from the beginning of the season as this game got underway, a team playing a way that would give them a chance to win. But in the last few minutes of that first half, he says they got away from the game plan. The guards specifically got a little lost, tried to do too much one-on-one. It goes back to Dickie V's point. You've got to make the shots. And Frank Martin told me, when you're shooting 8 of 30, you're not going to beat the #1 team in the country.
Bad formula. Ulis out top. 15 on the shot clock. Comes off the Johnson screen.
He's earned that start here in the second half.
Ulis with the floater. An offensive rebound by Lee, who was fouled. Made an aggressive move to the glass. Willie Cauley-Stein and Andrew Harrison on the bench. 2 starters now part of the white platoon.
Tell you, that's the way you get attention to guys, to play hard and to do what you want to be done. Nothing like sitting on a pine to wake somebody up. That's a player.
And, of course, at Kentucky, you got some guys who are behind them that can take their spot.
Well, you know, Willie Cole-Stein, in fairness to the kid, had 2 fouls early in the game.
Ulis into the corner to Booker. There's that combo again, and it pays off.
What a dynamite duo they are. I mean, Booker shoots it, you feel it's going down. I love kids that can make shots.
And he has been doing just that. Now, 22 of his last 30 three-point shots over the last 8 games. That's going to be a foul inside against Takari Johnson. Good drive and kick here, Dick.
What a nice combination. There's Ulis. He finds his teammate. They are so smooth. They got good rhythm, the two of them together.
That last foul was on Ulis. I mentioned earlier, Booker, his dad Melvin, former great at the University of Missouri.
See, the one thing, you know, it's okay to drive, try to attack, but it's very difficult to attack them inside. Nice. There it is. There's a block shot coming over.
Help defense. Lee with the block. There's 6 of the game, Dick.
You got to make some threes to hang with them, and that's why Vanderbilt was able to hang. They've made a number of threes in that game. You got to be able to do that. If you can't do that, you're going to attack. You're in a lot of trouble.
Thornwell inbounds.
Except the kid down in Mississippi did a great job, Moody. He was unbelievable against them. At 26, he converted when he attacked.
Yeah, they took Kentucky to overtime. A whistle and a foul going to go against the Wildcats.
Start getting away from right now, South Carolina.
A foul's against Takari Johnson. That's his first. Look at Frank and his staff. Perry Clark on the bench and Lamont Evans. Carrera. Little show and go. Drew the foul on Marcus Lee. Taking it right at him, Dick.
Yeah, attacking the basket. But they got to find somebody making some threes. Somewhere they got to let the 3 ball fly. They haven't taken any opportunities really from the 3.
Yeah, Michael Carrera, meanwhile, going to go to the foul line. A 72% free throw shooter on the season.
It's been a long time since they've scored.
Carrera missed 3 games earlier this year with a concussion.
You think about what Kentucky did earlier this year. What they did to UCLA was unbelievable at the half. It was 24-0, 4-touchdown lead before the game even woke up. They'll be sitting there, Steve Orr, for you like shell shock. What about Kansas? 19% against that. I mean, you think about what they've done to some of the great teams, being Carolina, Louisville.
Team's got a lot of firepower. A whistle and a foul going to go against Demetrius Henry, who is pushing Takari Johnson. That's Henry's 3rd, and that immediately gets Akejemis off the bench.
That's so much size side to deal with.
Pardon me, that's Kaichenis coming in the ball game. Henry with 3 takes a seat. South Carolina down about 12, Dick. Can they afford to be, I'm not going to say passive, but play this half-court zone as opposed to extending the defense a little bit?
Well, right now it's really tough to pressure them with Ulis on the floor because he will just beat you off the bounce and find open shooters. And right now they got Harrison and Booker playing together.
Booker deep. And believe it or not, he actually missed a 3-pointer. Notice Carrera inside.
Did everything right except they didn't score.
And he got blocked. Johnson made him think about it, Dick, and then he blocked it.
That size inside, so intimidating. Lead the nation in block shots. You can see why. I mean, they got a 3-on-2 and you come back empty.
7 block shots for the Big Blue Nation.
Average 8.1 for the season.
Here's Ulis, 15 on the shot clock. Notice all over him. Harrison flares on the screen, but there's going to be an offensive foul against Kentucky.
What about Johnson on the defensive end right now? There he is. Working inside. Carrera giving a lot of hustle. Tough to deal with that size. Size, good timing. Always got a hand up in your face. They intimidate you, man. They intimidate you defensively.
Big time. That last foul was against Booker.
I think it'd be a great game with Virginia. I would love to see Virginia with their defense. They'd lock you up. Rick Pitino told me the other day, they don't give you a good shot. Man-to-man, they play it. Kid Anderson's terrific. Gill, Brogdon.
And one thing about this Kentucky team, though, Dick, unlike some of their past teams, there's a lot of skill, a lot of shooting on this team.
Well, especially when you play Booker and Harrison together.
Drive to the bucket, no good that time by Stroman. And back come the Wildcats. They got a 3-on-2. Lyles traveled with it.
You know, every shot is a struggle. You don't see any really wide open shots there for South Carolina.
That's the 5th turnover against South Carolina.
Look at those defense.
Pardon me, the Wildcats.
Look at those numbers. Unbelievable. I mean, are you kidding me? You old people with those kind of numbers. They're going on record pace there. Their field goal percentage. That's guru Ken Pomeroy. Read some of his numbers about what they're doing.
Pretty impressive. Pereira fouled on the play by Towns. Frank Martin trying to motivate his team. And right now, Kentucky leading with great defense. As we take a look at the latest dish on college basketball today, brought to you by Dish. Florida State against number 15 North Carolina. ESPN at 2, ESPN 2 at 4. It's Miami, Syracuse, followed by Oklahoma against Baylor on ESPN 2 at 6 o'clock.
Tell you one thing, South Carolina's done a great job rebounding the basketball, and that means you're playing aggressive basketball. They've out-rebounded Kentucky, but they have not been able to make shots, and that's really a nightmare. You look on the glass right now, they're 27-19 plus 8 against Kentucky. That's a rarity. But if you're shooting 8 for 35 and 1 for 3, they got to find a way to get some open looks for threes. Let it fly. You got to take a little chance out there.
Into the corner, now Stroman pulls it out.
They do a great job, Kentucky, trying to take away that 3. They can right up in your face. This is a special team, this Kentucky team.
Notice blocked at the rim, another blocked shot, the 8th, right at their average, Dick.
How do you get to the basket to score against them in a half-court offense when you attack? Roy Williams said as good as defense he's ever seen. I mean, look at this right here. You make a good drive, and then you got to deal with that. So you better set some screens up on the perimeter and try to get some open looks and shoot the 3. If it doesn't go down, it doesn't go down, but at least get an opportunity.
There's Lyles out front against Thornwell.
You got 8 field goals and 8 block shots for Kentucky. Unbelievable.
Harrison in the corner, nice pull-up, and he knocks it down. Aaron Harrison, who had 14 points all in the second half in that Vandy win a couple of nights ago.
They're really playing with a lot of poise right now, Kentucky. Playing hard, playing with passion, playing like the #1 team in the country.
This appears to be, Dick, one of their more complete games so far against a pretty rough and rugged Gamecock squad. Stroman in the corner pulls it out.
Look at that size matchups on the perimeter.
Johnson working against Lyles. Those Kentucky bigs contest and move their feet pretty well, too, although that time Johnson makes the shot, his 5th point of the ball game.
Well, makes the medium range shot right there.
12-point lead for the Wildcats. Knocked out of bounds by Thornwell. Remember, a year ago in this game, Kentucky lost by 5. They're upset. And back in 2010, they came in ranked #1 and were upset by the Gamecocks.
This is a much better team than last year. I know last year went to the last second against Connecticut, but this is a deeper team, more talented team. Their bench competition is unbelievable what they can bring in to compete with the starters.
Towns with the jump hook inside. Money.
He's skilled. Chad Ford's got him right up there on top. We know what #1's going to be. I mean, you have to be a genius to figure out Mr. Okafor.
Pereira inside, blocked but fouled by Towns.
They don't look at the skills and the talent. Towns, Mr. New Jersey, came from out of Jersey, and watched the ball go down to the post, and he knows how to finish in the post. It was right over that left shoulder. Good move.
Talking about it a little bit earlier, Fran Fraschilla did a great breakdown in his ESPN.com film room piece on his skills. I remember seeing Towns as a 16-year-old as part of an international game between the Dominican Republic. He was playing for the Dominican national team, coached by Calipari at the time, a 16-year-old. His development, Dick, since that time to now has really been phenomenal.
I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't hurt recruiting with him on the sideline with him on a Dominican.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, that doesn't hurt recruiting. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. It's unreal.
And a size 20 shoe.
And it'll be taking time in the NBA. It'll be potential again. Guys being drafted on.
Here's Harrison. Now Andrew Harrison.
They're going to come up with some stops right now, South Carolina, if they want to get back in this game.
Dick, it looked like they drew a play right to go right back to Towns, and they get the foul. And Cayley has more on Towns.
Well, Mark, Coach Calipari says he wants Towns to be the best big man in the country by the end of the season. He says he's got to get him playing more aggressively, hunting more post catches. He says he's still really good, but he's not where Cal wants him to be right now.
Well, you know, Kelly, he can want him to be. That's a great dream, but he's got a long way to go to catch a kid down at Duke by the name of Okafor. A long way to go.
And Corley Stein with the dunk inside.
Finish on the inside by Corley Stein. I mean, he's not wrong being number 2. I mean, number 2.
That's Corley Stein's first field goal of the ball game. Remember, he was hampered by those 2 fouls in the first half. And Frank Martin calls a full timeout. We'll take one right along with them. 14-point lead for the Wildcats when we come back to Columbia. Kentucky's impenetrable defense leading them to a 14-point lead as South Carolina shooting just 24%. Taking a little inventory midway point of the college basketball season. Tell me about your midseason All-Americans.
Well, you know, midseason All-American teams, you want to be a postseason All-American, but we're going to give a little reward here. Some kids that have played well early. I know some people will disagree with some of these, but, you know, I look here. Anderson's been terrific for that Virginia team. DeLon Wright, Larry Kristoviak's done a great job at Utah. A real surprise team. He's been phenomenal. Okafor, enough has been said. I got Willie Corley Stein on there and Frank Kaminsky. People have said Willie Corley Stein, look at his numbers, but what he does to affect the game defensively, blocking shots, his rebounding ability, and he is playing on the #1 team in the nation. So I gave him that edge. But there's some other kids. Jerry Grant's playing great for Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish. I mean, he could be up there as one of the perimeter players.
Grant had one of the highlights of the year on that slam dunk a little bit earlier.
Zone defense right now. Zone defense.
Get it out of the corner. USC has made just one of the last 14 field goals.
Had that 1-point lead, and then Kentucky just took charge.
5 on the shot clock for Stroman. Got to get to work here and do it quickly. Whistle, and is that going to be a foul on Harrison? Yes. Why? It's the only thing you can ask. That's his second, but with 2 on the shot clock.
Yeah, not a good play. Not a good basketball play right there. And he'll be reminded of John Calipari.
Fouls against Aaron Harrison.
Imagine the shot you end up. See the 2-3 zone. I'll tell you one thing. That 2-3 zone with their length and their athleticism, that can be a factor for them in certain situations during the course of the year.
Stroman at the free throw line, a 59% foul shooter.
And John Calipari, normally a man-to-man guy.
Knocks down the first.
I was teasing John before the game. I said, my man, John, you know, you meet with the SID, you got certain minutes you got to meet with them. I said, John, when you were in Massachusetts, you would meet us in the parking lot, man. You'd be out there in that parking lot begging us to interview you and talk to you.
You've done a great job. Harrison. Carrera swipes at it, and Harrison got hit.
Father John's dad in the house. Hey, I bet he didn't pay for those shirts. I bet he didn't pay for that jacket. His son makes a few dollars down in Kentucky. Makes as much as he wants.
13-point lead. That foul is going to be against Carrera, his third.
John has put together one heck of a staff. I know you talked about certainly Perry Clark and the staff that Frank has put together, but that staff that John has, John Robeck is solid on that sideline. And then he's got Kenny Payne, and the addition of Barry Slice Rawson has been big. It's already paid off. They signed one of the top point guards in America, a kid named Briscoe out of New Jersey.
12:48 to go, and they're going to take a look, and let's see who this foul is on. Might be able to take your pick there.
I would think it's Carrera.
Henry was there as well. Carrera kind of swiped at it. Here's one more look at it. Notice was also in the vicinity, so 3 different South Carolina players.
I would give it to Guerrero.
Yeah.
If I was making the call.
Well, Calipari warned his team as saw some of the contact there that this game is going to be physical. They come right at you. He's talking of South Carolina.
It's a drive to the goal. Yeah, a lot of physicality, but they're very strong as well when you take a look at Kentucky. I mean, he got blasted, no question.
I think they're looking to see if maybe it was a flagrant because of the contact to the head there. Our officials, Tony Green, Jim Burr, and Ron Groover today.
I don't believe there was any intent here. I don't believe there was any intent at all, Mark. I think he went after it aggressively, but...
Well, the flagrant by definition is excessive, unnecessary, not a legitimate play on the ball. You saw Carrera kind of swipe at it. I thought he ended up hitting him in the head.
I thought he went after the ball. Some veteran officials right there, Mr. Burr, Mr. Green, Mr. Cooper. I think it's South Carolina, man. I think of the greatness of Frank McGuire's days.
You're going to call it a common foul, Dick, and
I
two free throws for Harrison.
I think it was a good call. I think about the great teams they had, man, when they had John Roach and Tom Riker. You don't remember those days. I do. Kevin Joyce, the Winters. Oh, man, they had so many great players. He had that Underground Railroad from New York City coming down here to South Carolina. Dunleavy eventually. What great players.
Harrison knocks down the first. He's got 9 in the ball game. Harrison shoots 76% from the line this year. He was preseason SEC Player of the Year. His numbers down a little bit this year, Dick, but part of that is a function of, I dare say the word, platoon system.
Yeah, platoon system, but also the balance. I still say platoon system affects you offensively. Tough to get a good rhythm. And don't forget, when you talk South Carolina, Mr. English as well. Alex English, who, by the way, is in the house here.
Yeah, one of the all-time greats.
Oh, there he is. They can use him right now. I guarantee he can come out here and score. I don't care how good Kentucky is defensively. I will take Mr. English to put points on that board.
Dick, he was taking that little floater, that runner in the lane before it became vogue. You know, now we have a name for it.
He was a scoring machine, man. He was a scoring machine.
Here's Stroman out top on the drive. Tough pass for Henry. Carrera ends up with it and makes it. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take it anyway.
They'll take any kind of points they can get because everything is a challenge.
Nice double team at the midcourt line.
Half-court trap. Swing the ball away from the trap. Usually get open looks.
Here's Towns.
Mr. Jones, do they have a run in them? Do you smell a run out of the Gamecocks?
I'm not sure. This Kentucky team defensively has been rock solid today.
Look at a group coming off the bench.
4 more subs getting ready to come in. 9 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Lyles. They swing it around. Harrison with the pull-up. Way off. Carrera with the rebound. Might be time to make a move if you're the Gamecocks.
Can't get anything easy. You're not going to get anything in transition that easy. And it's very difficult for them to get open looks from the 3.
Sindarius Thornwell. Cauley Stein on the switch. Boy, Kentucky with their length. They get in all the passing lanes, Dick.
And then if you beat him, you got to deal with all that size. There's no example. You beat your guy off the bounce, and here comes Willie Cauley-Stein. That's why he's an All-American. 9th
block of the game for Kentucky.
They're going to catch that record, I believe. They're going to catch that record of Mr. Anthony Davis and company.
Yeah, set by that 2012 team.
The one thing they want, that's the 2012 team, that ring, that championship ring.
You think about the selflessness that Calipari has been able to teach with these talented teams. Davis was the 4th leading scorer on that Kentucky team that won.
Right. I agree with you, Mark. I think it's really amazing to convince kids to play 18, 20 minutes a night where everybody wants to play 35 minutes a game.
Thornwell on the move, blocked by Towns, but a foul on the attempt. And that'll be 2 shots for South Carolina. Perhaps poised and ready to make a run here with 10:49 to go. All right, guys. Kentucky with a 12-point lead. Recently, Coach Calipari sat down with Seth Greenberg, and he asked him about the challenges of having so many stars.
I want to have 7, 8 different guys lead us in scoring at some point in the year, which means we're coaching all of these kids. But on the other side, then you got to teach them what it means to share minutes, share and be selfless. Here's why. In high school, it was all about them. So every one of them, not just one. So now 8 of them, everything was centered on them. Now you got to come in and share. So those are the challenges.
Tell you one thing, you talk about John Calipari, the beat's only going to go on and on. I read today Paul Biancardi's latest rankings on ESPNU. They have the #1 class in America coming in again next year. So he just reloads, and he gets them to share. He gets them to understand it's all about the team. Take a look right here, they're scoring. You're not going to get any 20-point scorers in the Kentucky lineup. You're not going to get any 20-point scorers. They got great balance, and they play together, and they understand what they're there for. And many of them, they want that journey to the NBA and to the big dollar signs. And you know what? Many of them are going to get it.
10-point lead. And South Carolina forces Kentucky to call a timeout on the trap, and we're going to stay right here. Folks, X Games Aspen continues tonight. The planet's most talented athletes are going for gold in women's snowboard superpipe in the GoPro Ski Big Air Finals. X Games Aspen tonight at 9 on ESPN, presented by GoPro. Calipari going to draw one up out of this timeout here. His team leading by 10 as we approach the midway point. Dick, what do you think he's saying to his squad right now?
Well,
is it a matter of trying to close it out and show some maturity here?
Well, absolutely. Go on a little spurt right here and put this away, because right now there's a little effort by South Carolina to be only down 10 and shooting the ball the way they have shot. I mean, really, they're not out of this game yet. And they got to just right now, the next 3 minutes, I think, are vital to tell us whether or not we'll have a game at the end. So Frank Martin's kids got to dig in. And on the other side, Kentucky has got to respond, because they're going to get an incredible effort against them right now.
Let's go to Kaylee. Kaylee?
Well, Mark, during halftime, Cal's message to his team was, as I've told you guys before, I want to play all of you. The differential in playing time in this game is how physical can you be. And if you can't play physical, that's when you sit.
He's been warning him all week. Be ready for a fight. Johnson being physical inside. Couldn't finish, though.
Hey, one thing, South Carolina came in here. Kentucky had a plus 9.4 rebound average. Today, South Carolina is a plus 8 on them on the glass. But you got to now make some shots here. I know we keep mentioning that, but they make one right here. This place will explode.
Thornwell with the pass.
I had an open look.
Kachunas off the mark. And Kachunas got it back out. Here's Thornwell from downtown.
Had two open looks. He came up empty. Had two open looks. The open three.
Yeah, Frank Martin, sorry, Dick, clapping about the effort that his team is giving. They just can't make shots.
Terrific effort. I mentioned the kid earlier. I told you about Ryan McMahon. I went to see him play 3 times. I was mesmerized by his shooting ability. He had 92 points in 3 games. He's 6 foot, maybe 6.5 inches. But every time he shoots it, you feel it's going to go in. And that's what you need. Players that you at least have some threats on that perimeter. That's what Booker is. Booker and even Aaron Harrison. You feel it's got a good chance of going down. Who can ever forget those 3 unbelievable shots that he made against Wisconsin? He made against Michigan.
And a turnover by Dakari Johnson. That's the 7th of the game for Kentucky.
They also made a big one against Wichita State. They were undefeated.
Harrison's going to sit down, and his brother Aaron comes into the ball game.
See, John Calipari knows one thing. He's been around coaching, that this game is not over yet. This game is one where if this team could knock down a 3, it could be really interesting.
Stroman on the drive. Took the contact.
Never an easy shot.
Henry lost the handle.
Have you seen an easy shot, really? Everything's challenged.
Harrison all the way and draws the foul. That's going to go against Justin Mackey.
Well, I tell you, B.J. Mackey was something else. His dad, I was here in '97, double overtime. They beat Kentucky. That was probably the last time I was here to do a game. Eddie Fogler did a great job in that club. That club, when you think about them in the mid-'90s, they got beat by they were a number 2 seed. And my memory tells me they got beat by Coppin State. And then a year later, they got beat by Richmond, a number 3. Yeah. They were a number 3 seed. South Carolina, here's a look at Mr. Mackey.
Yeah, Mackey now an assistant coach at Coastal Carolina.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
Pardon me, I want to say Charleston Southern. Got the schools mixed up. 12-point lead. Harrison knocks down the second.
See, Mark, it would have been big psychologically if they could have got it in single digits. But it was down 10. They had 2 good opportunities.
It's interesting when you look at South Carolina. Dwayne Notice, their leading scorer coming into the game today, Dick, has been kind of quiet offensively and has actually spent a lot of time on the bench today.
Well, also, Johnson's been quiet again.
Carrera from downtown. Tipped up, kept alive, but Kentucky controls.
You cannot win. Even I can recognize that, and I'm a dummy if you're not going to put down some scores, man.
Booker with the pull-up on the baseline, draws the foul.
Don't want to foul him.
That's against Thornwell.
Don't want to foul him. He's like automatic on that free throw line.
That's his second.
record, he's more than just a three-point shooter. He's got some good skills. No question.
And Booker, an 80% free throw shooter, going to go to the line. One of several McDonald's All-Americans. You see the Band-Aid on his upper lip area. He took a shot in the first half. This crowd just waiting for something to happen. Just the 6th sellout ever here.
Crowd has been so live. They've been really awake all morning.
For the safety of the players on the court, anything coming out of the stands, we call a technical foul in the Gamecocks.
Looks like we might have a warning. Public address announcer said that you can't throw anything on the floor, else it's going to be a technical foul against South Carolina. There's official Jim Burr talking to Coach Frank Martin.
I think that's a good message. Yeah. Let them know, because you can't have that happen out there. You can injure maybe even your own players. You don't need that.
Well, the school president promised all the students free pizza and a party if they upset Kentucky. Let's get to know Devin Booker, brought to you by Burger King. Look at some of his stellar numbers as a high schooler. And is it Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year?
Yeah, not bad. 30.9 as a high school senior. 32-minute games. What a stroke. Beautiful stroke. Tucks the elbow in. Goes up the ladder.
14-point game.
Great rotation. Look at the effort by Ulis on the perimeter. Comes contagious. See, look at that defensive stance by Booker. So aggressive defensively.
Mackey over to Stroman, 15 on the shot clock.
And it's great you can play a little aggressive on the perimeter because you know you got help inside if you get beat. That's why Georgetown was so good. You could pressure on the perimeter and you had to deal with Patrick Ewing.
Here's Stroman.
He is struggling to get
3 on the shot clock. They got to go. Tough shot at the end of the shot clock. That has been the refrain today, and it's forced by Kentucky. That's not an accident.
Very simple, man. The formula so far for the plus 14 has been Blue Nation's defense. Their defensive efficiency. And do they have people that travel?
That's a lot of blue out there,
That's a lot of blue. They love their cats, man. They eat, sleep, and drink all about Kentucky basketball.
Under 8 minutes to go. And the top defensive team in the country, at least one of them statistically, doing a great job again today. South Carolina just 2 of their last 21.
And their stats are getting better and better with those kind of numbers. Came in, allowing only 30.9% field goal percentage. It's going below that today.
Ulis cross court. Harrison with the pull-up. Rebounded by South Carolina.
Got numbers.
Thornwell took it right into the chest of the defender Harrison and draws the foul.
Should have given it off. Should have passed that basketball, had an open cutter.
Time running out on the Gamecocks when we come back. Wildcats with a 14-point lead as we go courtside to Kaylee, who's going to tell us about a special visitor this week.
Well, Mark, the power of luck. A poignant reminder from Rick Elias to the Wildcats last night. He's the CEO of a marketing and sales powerhouse in Charlotte, but he was also on board that U.S. Airways flight that had an emergency landing in the Hudson River back in January of 2009. As he explained to the team last night, bad luck can turn to good luck. He brought it home. Speaking of Alex Poitras, the McDonald's All-American for the Wildcats, who's out for the season with a torn ACL, he said, Alex right now could be asking, why me? How could this happen to me? But you never understand how that moment of bad luck 2 years from now, Alex could look back and say, that's exactly what I needed to take the next step.
Great point.
You know,
Great story.
He was on there playing. I did a speaking engagement a couple months back with the captain of that.
Captain Sully?
Playing. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And also Condoleezza Rice was part of that. It's a real estate multi-million-dollar club out in San Fran that I spoke at, and Condoleezza spoke at it, and so did the captain of that plane.
Just a legendary landing, Captain Sully landing that thing in the Hudson. 13-point lead. Thornwell at the free throw line. Talking about the great company you keep, Dick. I've been fortunate this week. I I had Hubie Brown on Wednesday for my NBA game, and I get you this week, man. That's a lot of good years, huh?
That's a lot of years. I know that. 2 Jersey guys trying to make it. We're trying to make it, man. 2 Jersey guys.
You made it all right.
Hubie coached at Fairland High School. I coached at East Rutherford. We had a scrimmage one time against each other. I went to the laboratory doing the scrimmage, and a guy says to me, man, I just came out of Camp Lejeune, and I've never seen 2 guys like you 2 guys. How you beat up on these kids. It was unbelievable. Hubie was terrific. He's a terrific analyst.
12-point lead. Harrison twins in the backcourt. Cauley Stein, Johnson, and Booker on the floor for the Wildcats.
Still playing hard defensively, South Carolina. Really giving it an effort.
Good contest by Thornwell, forcing the miss.
I got to make some shots, man. Want to get this crowd going. The roost wants to explode.
Stroman cross court to Mackey.
I want to see an open shot. Every shot is challenged. Like right there, tough.
And an offensive foul against Stroman. Wow.
You got to stop and shoot that open shot. Tried to use the free arm. Can't get away with this. Watch this right here. There's the left arm.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. He had the open 15-footer, but they want to go a little further and get in trouble. Stop and shoot that quick jumper.
3 fouls against Darius Thornwell, their second leading scorer.
Can't get it under single digits.
6.5 to go.
Under double digits. Can't get it to single digits.
Harrison draws the foul on Stroman. And that'll send Andrew Harrison to the free throw line. Harrison, a 74% foul shooter. Folks, Big Monday presented by Verizon. This week has an ACC Big 12 double dip for you at 7. Syracuse taking on number 15 North Carolina. Then at 9, it's Texas taking on Iowa State.
Syracuse really got a tough break when the Kim McCullough went down. Good looking freshman. Christmas certainly an improved player. Kennedy Meeks has really improved. Lost some weight. Carolina's been playing well lately.
After the free throws, it's a 14-point lead. And, you know, Frank Martin was telling me prior to the game, when their leading scorer, Dwayne Notice, gets passive, they get in trouble. And that may be part of what happened here today offensively. Mackey fires away, and he knocks one down.
Yes, they went to a zone. Stepped right in that zone, knocked down a big 3. Got it to 11. Now they're going to get a stop here and get this under. They're going to get it under 10.
Plenty of time, and Justin Mackey, one half of the Mackey combo that played here at South Carolina. The all-time leading scorer with 2,119 points. There he is, the prolific guard, All-American and 3-time All-SEC honoree. Remember the 1997 SEC championship team? They went 15-1 in league play.
He was a scorer. He had a great scorer's mentality. He can shoot the ball. He can drive with the ball. His son almost dramatically had this place rocking. Would have had it explode had he made that 3 against Tennessee at the end of the game. They were down 3. It went in, it rolled around, and it popped out.
Both of them from Irmo High School. Local high school, one of the state powers here in the state of Carolina. Hey, look at some of our upcoming games.
Talk about a bad injury. You take a look at Wisconsin, Michigan. Wisconsin loses Jackson. Michigan loses to Kittle Levert. Game day game tonight. Guys will be rocking down there.
11-point lead for Kentucky, looking for their 19th win of the season against 0 losses. Kentucky, one of just 2 undefeated teams remaining in the nation. As we look at the SEC standings, Tennessee, arguably the surprise, pleasant surprise of the SEC so far in conference play. Arkansas, boy, what a dramatic win they had a couple of nights ago against Alabama at home.
Portis tipped one in. Solid player. He did that against Kentucky also a year earlier. Alabama's really played well this year. I hope Anthony Grant gets him some extension. He's a quality guy, and that team has been so close.
Frank Martin and Anthony Grant, a couple of Miami High School guys.
They got Dozier coming in, talking about recruits. His dad played here, Barry Dozier. Very good high school player.
Stroman out top on Harrison.
Kentucky showing some patience. Take care of the bigs inside. Give them some touches.
Lyles puts it on the deck. Drove it all the way in. A whistle, contact. And it's against South Carolina. Charge.
No,
Pardon me, it's against Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a charge. There's no question. Good call. Defense was established. Now they're going to make something happen offensively. They're going to get some efficiency offensively. Oh, defense is absolutely established.
Now, Carrera was there, and the rule, of course, modified this year in terms of the charge call.
Now you got to do something offensively.
Yeah.
You get the ball back. You got to convert right here.
5.5 to go.
It's been a long time since it's been a single-digit lead. It's amazing how South Carolina just placed explosive with about 4 minutes to go when Thornwell made the 3 to take a 1-point lead, and then the momentum totally swung to Kentucky.
Let's see what they run here on this possession. Mackey made a 3 a few moments ago.
And they came right out of the zone. He played zone in that one possession. Kentucky rotated out back into man-to-man.
Here's Mackey on the wing. Atkevichus. Pereira. Thornwell, good help by Johnson. Atkevichus. They double team him, and they almost turn it over. 5 on the shot clock. Thornwell from deep. Atkevichus battling. Mackey just missing.
They cannot get a break for a basket.
So close to making it a single-digit deficit.
Had an opportunity again. Came up empty. I mean, Kentucky's very intimidating defensively. They really are intimidating.
They contest everything at the defensive end. Lyles, a tough shot, and he earns a trip to the free throw line, improvising a little bit.
They are really skilled, so skilled offensively as well. You wouldn't really see the true ability of a lot of these guys offensively unless they play 30, 35 minutes a game.
Lyles is going to go to the foul line, native of Indianapolis, 64% free throw shooter.
I think that's a great coaching achievement. That you can convince kids sitting in their rooms when they're looking you in the eye that you're going to play probably 20 minutes a night at most. And I mean, that really takes a lot of salesmanship.
There's a look at Kentucky's defense,
Look at the altered shots, 13, wow.
Lyles scored 5 points and had 4 rebounds a few nights ago in that win against Vandy.
Look at that size they put across the front. Great wingspan, athletic, they're mobile, they're not fragile, they can be hostile.
A young team, when you look at the number of sophomores and freshmen.
You know, it's amazing, I looked it up. Kentucky has not won the SEC tournament the last 3 years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I was shocked when I saw that. I was shocked.
Stroman gives it to Thornwell.
Vandy, Mississippi, and Florida have won the last 3.
Mackey off the screen, on top now, 13-point deficit.
Never get an easy possession against them. They haven't had any easy transition layups, South Carolina. Look at everything's challenged. They'll take a desperation shot.
Another tough one at the end of the shot clock, and they won't get one off. That's why they allow opponents just 30% shooting from the field.
And that's why I have them in the top 5 as one of the 5 best defensive teams I have ever seen in 36 years at ESPN.
You know, Dick, we hear so much about Virginia's suffocating defense. I don't know that Kentucky's is second to theirs either.
Well, Virginia is certainly supreme team defense. They do it a little differently. Great position defense. They don't have the shot blockers like you're seeing right here. 11 for 49. I mean, come on. How are you going to win a basketball game like that?
Approaching 3.5 minutes to go.
3 for 19 here in the second half, South Carolina.
Harrison kicks it back out, goes to get the back from Cauley Stein. Gets into the paint and manufactures his own shot and knocks it down. He's got 13.
Good one-on-one move right there. Had a strong second half against Vanderbilt.
Largest lead of the ball game now for Kentucky. And hopes of an upset in front of a sold-out crowd starting to fade for the Gamecocks as Thornwell draws the foul. Timeout on the floor. Things getting real urgent for the Gamecocks when we come back. Doing a nice job this year at Tulsa, huh?
Yeah, fantastic. Tell me about him, Marco on his staff. Used to be on Jimmy V's staff. Did a heck of a job. Kid Woodward scoring for them.
2 shots coming up for Sindarius Thornwell, the team's second leading scorer. Shooting 71% from the free throw line. And it was him that was very vocal yesterday and in the days leading up to this game saying, hey, as a basketball player, these are the games that you want to play in. But so far, South Carolina, effort aside, not equal to the task.
You know, Mark, you mentioned the president was going to buy pizza for everybody if they're upset. Well, if he's a great, great president and a good guy, and I'm sure he is, you know what? He should buy pizza for everybody anyway. They all came out, they cheered, they went bananas. Don't let them off the hook. Buy pizza and buy it for the women's team and all the fans that are here on Monday. Come on, Mr. Prez.
30 minutes are free. Come on.
Hey, Dawn Staley, what a job she's done. There's the look at some of the women's players, undefeated, #1 in the country. And I'm telling you this, they deserve to have a sellout crowd here Monday night. They play a good Texas A&M team, top 10 team in the country, and they have earned the right that every seat should be filled. So if you're a Gamecock and you're proud of your Gamecocks, came here today, come on back and cheer for Dawn and her team.
Ulis knocks down the free throw.
Difference in this game.
5 points.
Difference in the game, Mark, is when they took that 1-point lead. This little guy, Ulis, took the game over. He and Booker on the perimeter to give Kentucky the impetus at the end of the half.
Yeah, when you got good guard play, boy, you're in good hands. Largest lead of the ball game for Kentucky at 16.
They got 4 big-time guards.
Mackey swings it around to the corner. Stroman.
Certainly can't knock the effort of the South Carolina kids. They played hard. They came here, played with intensity, emotion, and just were not able to make shots. But you know what? They're not the only team that hasn't been able to make shots against Kentucky. There's a reason it's happening, because these guys are determined defensively. They're talented. They got size, and they got athleticism.
What do you think their chances are, Dick, of going the rest of the season undefeated, including the tournament?
Well, including the tournament, I think obviously that's going to be a tough run. But however, they got a very good chance. It's going to take a special performance to beat them. I think they had their wake-up calls in those 2 games with Texas A&M and Mississippi. And I think since that calling, they're on their way. And I think the competition's getting better. A kid like Harrison Andrews going to feel it with Mullers. You got good Booker's going to get more playing time. And that all just going to make competition and practice even better every day.
Harrison outside with 12 on the shot clock as you hear the Go Big Blue chant from the Kentucky fans that have made the trip here to South Carolina. Harrison with a good ball fake. Comes up short. Under 2 minutes to play. Thornwell on the move. Inside, Carrera. Shot contested, maybe partially blocked.
You know, you make that lob inside, you throw the diagonal lob, and it's not really a heady play because you got to know what you're dealing with. That's their strength around that basket with their size.
Meanwhile, over on ESPN News, they'll be tipping off Florida State against North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Florida State Seminoles, year to year, Leonard Hamilton, Stan Jones, that staff does a great job defensively. Their team's always in ball games. As Towns gets ready to check back in for Kentucky. Lyles out top.
Taking some time off that clock and good movement. They're so well coached. Say what you want. Go to watch Don Calipari's practices, and it's a clinic. It's a clinic. The guy's more than a recruiter. He's got the full package.
Harrison working against Mackey. Back out to his twin brother. Booker with a shot on the baseline. Butter.
I just love the way he shoots. You're right, Butter. He's velvet, man. He's smooth. Got good arc. Pretty tough and keep a kid like that on the bench.
1 minute to play. Thornwell tries to make a tough pass, and Paulie Stein, who didn't have one of his better afternoons, with the steal.
You got to give an A plus to Kentucky today. On the road, getting the best hit they're going to get. Sellout crowd for the first time.
Yeah, but listen to this. Listen to that. The cheers. That's Big Blue Nation right there, right?
Unbelievable, yeah. No question. They travel. They love their catch. You want to go to sellout some places? Play Kentucky. They'll bring the fans and fill your arena.
Listen to that.
Look at them cheering on the sideline. Ulis and company cheering for one another.
Harrison with the floater short. Out of bounds. It'll be South Carolina basketball. Well, what started off as a real promising season for South Carolina. Big win against Iowa State up in Brooklyn. They actually received a few votes for the top 25. Once conference play started, things have gone south a little bit. But Frank Martin will recalibrate his team and get this thing together before it's all said and done and have them on the right track soon.
They won 7 in a row, but now they're really in a little bit of a slide. But, man, they lost to an outstanding team. This is really a legitimate, big-time #1 basketball team. Congrats to Kentucky, and also really enjoyed working with you, Mark and Caleb.
My pleasure, Dick Vitale. As Kentucky wins its 19th straight, 58-43. For Kaylee Hartung and the Hall of Famer Dick Vitale, I'm Mark Jones, saying so long from Columbia. Coming up next, Florida State, North Carolina. So long, everybody, as we go to Chapel Hill with Dave O'Brien and Doris Burke.